The Galactic Council panics as humans sever all diplomacy. The Grand Rotunda of the Galactic Council hadn't heard such silence in 5,000 years. Usually, the amphitheater hummed with layered languages, clicking mandibles, chemical exchanges, and light-coded diplomatic messages. But today, as the representatives of 1,000 species sat paralyzed in shock, not even the song flutes of the Talaxi dared to sound. On the central dais stood a single, fading hologram, the seal of the Terran Union. It flickered once, twice, then faded to black. No goodbye. No final speech. No declaration of war. Just silence. Are we at war with them?" whispered Chancellor Troke of the Zalari Dominion, his bioluminescent whiskers trembling. "No." It was Ambassador Raxu of the Ilari, one of the few who had ever set foot on Earth. His voice, usually resonant and proud, was now cold. "War requires words. Acknowledgement. What they gave us today was rejection. A complete severance." An Ulnari diplomat slammed his tentacled appendage onto the table. "This is impossible. They can't just walk away. They're still bound by the Orion Accords." "They were," said Raxu grimly, "until an hour ago." 3 days earlier, Earth. The Council's delegation had arrived with pomp and protocol, flags fluttering, translators ready, promises rehearsed. They found Earth cold. Not in temperature, but in tone. The skies were clear, but every orbital dock was sealed. Earth's beacons were offline. The humans met the delegation on the tarmac of a deserted diplomatic facility in Geneva. No smiles. No music. No parades. Chong Li Fun, the Terran Union's supreme diplomat, stood alone in the wind. Her silver robes were plain, but her eyes blazed with restrained fury. "You're early," she said, voice sharp, "but not early enough." "Supreme Chong," said Raxu, bowing with respect, "we come in peace and clarity, too." "No," she interrupted. "You come to patch the wounds you inflicted, with apologies wrapped in politics, with treaties smeared in our blood." The delegation hesitated. "We did not authorize the Halvern raids," insisted the Drakari ambassador. "They acted independently. 3 colonies gone. 1 million civilians vaporized. Your words mean nothing." Chong turned and walked toward the glass doors of the old assembly hall. Inside, the UN banners had long been replaced by the obsidian insignia of the Terran Union. Silent guards watched as she opened a case and placed something on the table, a polished box, sealed with a thumbprint. "We spent decades trying to fit into your galaxy," she said quietly. "We joined your councils. We helped your people. We healed your sick. We even fed your armies when your civil wars tore your sectors apart." She looked up. "And you spat on every olive branch we offered." Inside the box was the original Galactic Charter Earth had signed upon joining. It had been burned. Present, Galactic Council Chambers. "Then, are they leaving the galaxy?" asked one of the Avanari elders. "Retreating." "No one knows," whispered Raxu. "But I know this. Humans do not retreat. They prepare." Councillor Velsu of the Kratok Confederation clicked his claws. "We need to re-establish contact immediately. Send a diplomatic fleet to Sol. Bring them back to the table." "Fools!" spat High Lord Zern of the hallowed Nakar. "Do you not see? The table is gone. The humans burned it, buried it, and built walls of silence around it. The departure. As Earth's last transmission faded into the void, a single ship departed Seoul, a diplomatic shuttle. It carried Chong Li-fan herself. Her destination, the Council. She didn't arrive with honor guards. She didn't bring aides. She entered alone. The chamber fell into silence as she walked to the center, chin high. "This is not a negotiation," she said. "This is a termination." She placed a single device on the table, a Terran beacon, its power core slowly dying. When that light fades, so does every treaty we signed. Gasps echoed. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. "This isn't just Earth withdrawing," said Chancellor Troke. This destabilizes the whole Council." Chong turned. "We came in peace. You offered us chains. Now we break them." And then she left. Aftermath. The beacon blinked slower. Slower. Slower still. One by one, the Terran outposts on galactic relays powered down. Border stations went silent. Human embassies on alien worlds were abandoned overnight, replaced with encrypted autoresponses. Diplomatic operations suspended. Access denied. This channel is no longer monitored. The panic spread faster than war ever could. What happens when the species who lifted your wounded, rebuilt your fallen cities, and brought technology centuries ahead, suddenly goes dark? They had called humans unpredictable, reckless, dangerous. But they had never expected this. Not silence. Not vanishing. Not Earth, gone. 5 solar cycles later. Sector 73, edge of Orion Arm. The scout ship Velsarian drifted through the void, its scanners humming in futility. The system once designated Terra Sol lay ahead, its beacons cold, its planetary ring silent. "I'm not detecting any transmissions," said Commander Ralvek of the Avanari. "Not even passive signals. It's like they've sealed the entire system behind a curtain." Lieutenant Seska's voice trembled. "Commander, I think they've removed themselves from the network entirely. The Sol system is broadcasting zero data. No coordinates. No transponder echoes. It's as if they've deleted their star from the map." Ralvek leaned back in his chair. "Stars don't go dark. Not like this." The crew fell silent. Until the screen blinked, just once. An ancient Terran distress code, gutted and distorted. The message was untraceable. Only one line translated clearly. "We are not lost. We are watching." Meanwhile, Galactic Council Emergency Assembly. "Send a peace envoy," roared the Zalari Chancellor. "Send reparations. Send a fleet if needed. Earth must rejoin the Council." "You still don't understand," rasped High Lord Zern. "Humans are not hiding. They are choosing silence. This is not a pause. This is a statement." The Talaxi diplomat sang a trembling chorus. "But what if they attack?" "No," answered Rax, you bitterly. "They won't. Because vengeance would be merciful." An eerie dread settled over the chamber. Humans hadn't threatened war. That would have been predictable. Instead, they had vanished. No more trade convoys. No humanitarian fleets. No outreach to collapsing civilizations. The species that once walked among the stars like guardians had withdrawn, not in defeat, but in disgust. Drifting in the void, a message discovered. An automated salvage ship stumbled upon a Terran relay station floating far beyond mapped territories. Derelict. Lifeless. Yet untouched by time. Inside, a recording began the moment the ship docked. The image flickered to life. Chong Li-fun, now older, seated behind an obsidian desk, the Terran insignia behind her, scarred. Her voice was soft, controlled, but every syllable struck like thunder. To those who hear this message, know that we do not hate. We are tired. We reached out with hope, and you answered with blood. We offered unity, and you demanded submission. So we leave, not as a conquered people, but as one who chooses dignity over diplomacy. She paused. If you fear us now, you should. But not because we will strike. Fear the silence we leave behind. Because where we once stood, there is now only the mirror. Look into it, and ask yourselves, why did the stars lose their light? Then the screen went black. Panic becomes policy. Across the galaxy, fear mutated into frenzy. In the Kratok Confederation, border colonies began stockpiling weapons. On Talaxi worlds, children were taught legends of Terrans, ghosts in black ships who punished injustice with silence. Smaller species began defecting from the Council altogether, hoping to avoid being caught in the humans' unseen judgment. One phrase began to echo across systems, whispered in council chambers and black markets alike. The humans are waiting. No one knew where. No one knew for what. But one thing became clear. No species who had wronged Earth slept soundly anymore. Deep space, unknown region. A lone ship drifted beyond the edges of explored space, cloaked in gravity distortion and void spectrum shielding. Its markings bore no flags, no allegiance. Inside, humans walked quietly, eyes like steel, purpose carved into their bones. This was not the Terran Union of the past. This was something older, something prepared. Chong Li-fun stood at the observation deck, her silver hair tied back, her eyes scanning the stars. Behind her, a young officer approached. "Ma'am, we've finished integrating the outer beacon network." She nodded. "And the listening posts?" "Online. Across 70 systems. Silent. Watching." Chong stared at the stars for a long moment before speaking. When the Council falls under the weight of its own arrogance, when the cries of the oppressed echo louder than the songs of their empires, we will return. She turned, but not as diplomats. The Council fractures. By the 7th solar cycle, the Galactic Council was a shell of its former self. Without Terran diplomacy, species long held at peace by human negotiation resumed old rivalries. Skirmishes broke out. Trade collapsed. Piracy surged. One by one, core systems withdrew. The Ilari ambassador stood before the dwindling chamber. "Earth is not gone," he said. "They are the shadow in every forgotten system. The silent answer to every intercepted cry for help. We thought we could use them, manipulate them, control them." He bowed his head. "We were wrong." Epilogue. The final signal. A single transmission crackled through deep space. No origin. No ID. But the language was unmistakable. Terran standard. "We do not forgive. We do not forget. But we still watch. When you are ready to rebuild, not power, but peace, look not to the stars. Look within. And then, maybe, we will return."